my father had a way with words. You know, he'd say stuff. You know, he sit there talking to him, and as soon as you said something he didn't like, instead of just disagreeing with him, he'd go, "Why don't you go to hell?" I go to hell. And to this day, when I'm talking to somebody and they're pissing me off, I want to just say it.
Go to hell.
I'm tuned into that, but I can't. I ain't gonna do it. But they're like, I go to hell.
It's like, oh, get out of here.
Nah, but he did. He just like he didn't want to listen to you anymore. He'd be like, I go to hell. My aunt one time brought a friend over to out for dinner, and she goes, Joe, and she goes, my he knew my father was a little bit rough around the edges.
No.
Had a couple of things that he might say that he shouldn't.
No.
You know, no filter. Had no filter. But anyway, and he smoked a lot, but he dressed a 3-piece suit all the time, and he always looked like he was on his way to an executive meeting. And she goes, he's a little overweight. Please don't make fun of his weight. All right?
Oh, boy.
So he goes, okay, fine. He goes, I won't. So he goes, she goes, but he goes, if he gets a little opinionated with me, it gives me a hard time. He's going to get it. So they go out. Turns out the guy's a total lib. You know, and he's talking about all kinds of shit and anti-war, anti-American, anti-this, anti-that. You know, we shouldn't be in here. Our president's a fucking communist. Whatever the fuck he was saying at the time, I think probably Nixon was the president or whatever it was. And my father was kind of a fan. And he's going, he's sitting there smoking, and he's looking at my aunt, and he goes, that's it.
Oh, boy.
He goes like this. He goes, let me tell you something, you arrogant, pompous, fat fuck.
Oh, wasn't he not supposed to mention the weight thing?
The weight had to come out.
Okay.
So she goes, Joe. He goes, no, I want you to get up now, get your fat ass up out of that chair, and get the hell out of this restaurant.
Oh, boy.
That's the way he was.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
And the guy left.
You're kind of like, the apple hasn't fallen too far from the tree.
It's a little abrupt.
Well,
no?
he had a low tolerance for...
You told me you have a low tolerance for a lot of shit.
I do, but I would never do that.
Well, I could see.
I think it. I think it, but I wouldn't do it.
But you wouldn't act
You
on
think
it.
it's every Sunday night at 9:30?
No, but that's what he did, you know, and that's the kind of shit he did. But that was after, like, see, he wouldn't do that minus the drinks. But once he had his third martini or
He was
fourth
out of-
scotch,
he's ready
whatever
to
it
go.
was, anything that popped into his head came out.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alcohol's fucked up,
That's
man.
what it was.
That's what it
It was
does.
all the alcohol because he sat there listening. And my
just
aunt told the
melts
story
away
later
that
on.
filter.
My aunt told the story later on, and she'd be like, "He was fine." She goes, "Everything was going smooth." She goes, "He had that fourth drink, and he couldn't take it anymore." She goes, and he just let loose, ripped into this guy, and the guy, you just get your fat fucking ass up and get the fuck out of this restaurant.
I believe it.
And he did it. He had an argument with a mechanic one time. Me and my brother, like, he was probably 16. I was like 14 or 14. And he goes, I got to go pick up the car. He goes, the mechanic wants extra money for something like that. He goes, grab a couple of bats. That's what he said. Grab a couple
You
of bats.
told me this, right?
We
Didn't
go
you?
down. It was a guy on Hempstead Turnpike. We go down to the shop. Me and my brother stand there with baseball bats.
That's great.
That's good. Yeah.
He goes, he goes, either give us me the price you told me, or they're gonna beat the fuck out of you with the bats. And I'm standing there going, this is fucked up. This is really fucked up.
This can't be right.
But I had to do it.
Is this how everybody raises their children?
I had to do it.
Now, did you ever have anybody come at you when you had your bats and everything else? Or is that the only one
No.
time? No. Nobody ever came after you?
No.
Did you ever see him beat the shit out of anybody?
Yeah. Oh, he was tough.
Did you ever see him get his ass kicked in?
Never. No, he didn't lose. Well, my father used to park at Shea Stadium. So he'd take the train from Willers Point to Manhattan. He worked in Manhattan, had a suit on, the whole thing. So, and he would go, my uncle had a bar called the Midway in Corona. And he would stop off at the Midway and belt down, like, on a Friday night, we're sitting home waiting for him. Hey, tell your mom, you call up on the phone, you pick up, hey, Dad. He go, I'll be home in about an hour with a pizza. 4 hours later, we're sitting at the table with plates.
Are you serious?
Jeez.
So,
Did he at least call?
no. So we're sitting there. It's now pushing 2 a.m. Me and my brother sitting at the table. My mother's.
Come on.
I'm not kidding. This wasn't once. This was a few times. So my mother's long in bed. I think she's actually, in the deepest possible sleep now, so she don't know anything going on.
Mm-hmm.
She gave up. So all of a sudden we hear the car at 2:00, and we're like, "What the fuck?"
Here he comes.
There he is. He's parking the car. You hear that? He's straightening it out.
That's pre-power steering.
Yeah,
That's what that is.
Then you go like this. You also you hear the door, and then you hear the door again close. He's straightening it out. Little curb scrape.
Cricket.
I go, all right. There you go. All right. So now he's walking. You hear the shoes up the walkway. Right? All of a sudden, fumbling for the keys. Doors open. Me and my brother is sitting at the table. Right? We're sitting at the table looking at the door, and we're wondering why is he fumbling for the keys and not trying the knob. But he's not. And finally we go, Dad, the door's open. He goes, why the hell didn't you tell me that? Through the door. Why the hell didn't you tell me? I'm telling you now, the door's open. Stop looking for your keys. He opens the door, he swings it open. He's got his overcoat over his arm, 3-piece suit still on. He's got the vest still on, the pants are perfect, everything. He goes, looks at this, he goes, Daddy's smashed. I'm smashed. I'm like, oh my God, what the hell happened? He goes, let me tell you something. He goes, I left Uncle Chubb's bar. He goes, I go to the parking lot, and these 3 guys are following me. And I know they're following me.
Oh, God.
He goes, I got the only car in the entire parking lot at Shea Stadium, and they're following me. He goes, so I get to my car, and I quickly turn around. And the guy goes, and I go, what the fuck do you want? And they go, just give us your money, and we'll leave you alone.
No.
He goes like this, nope, you're going to have to fight me for it.
No.
He goes, the first guy, I punched him in his jaw, must have broke it, he went down. The second guy, I started pounding him, kicked him in the ribs, kicked him in the face, kicked him everywhere. He goes, and the third guy ran.
Good.
He goes, I got in my car, I drove away, and I says, I still got my money. Fuck you. He goes, and then I drove home. I go, so you were in this condition, and you had that kind. He goes, damn right. He goes, nobody messes with me.
Did come home with pizza?
No pizza.
No pizza.
I was going to say.
We had dusty plates.
What kind of pie was it?
Nothing. There was nothing. So what does he do
Dusty
at that point?
plates.
And this was common in his what? Let's make eggs. So he'd get out like a dozen eggs and he'd crack open about
At 2 o'clock
9
in the
of them.
morning?
Yeah. He'd crack them open. And
Now, would he
make
continue
eggs.
drinking and smoking?
Oh, he'd pour a little scotch, yeah.
So you're talking eggs and scotch.
Oh,
yeah.
scotch in the eggs.
No, what he would do is he'd scramble up these eggs. So he'd make bacon, and then he'd
Instead
take
of
the
milk,
egg.
he had scotch.
He would pour the grease out from the bacon and leave a little coat of it on there for the eggs, so they get the flavor of the bacon. And then he'd put the eggs in there, and then he'd put horseradish in the eggs.
Oh, boy.
And Tabasco sauce.
Ah, he's got it down
Oh,
pat.
that's hardcore.
So he served. He
This
goes,
is 2
"All
in
right."
the morning. You're not going to bed.
No, it's now 3.
Oh,
and
my
he's
God.
flopping on your plate, and you're looking at it going, oh no, I can't. And he's going, eat. Like, I don't know. Eat! God damn it.
Oh, my God. Eggs with
Start eating the
horseradish.
eggs. It was burning your fucking mouth. And he's
Oh,
sitting
my
there
God.
eating it, and then he would take the cheese, the grated cheese, and put a spoon in it. Take a spoonful out and just eat the cheese.
Oh, boy.
And throw the spoon in the sink.
And where would he go? Fucking great.
This is delicious,
Fucking
right?
delicious. You want some, kids?
That's the kind of shit we used to deal with.
Now, can I ask you something?
Wow.
How long were they married, your mother and father?
They were married for 20 years.
20?
Yeah.
That's it?
Well, they separated.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought
She
it
was
was
still waiting for pizza. Never came home.
She got tired of waiting for the pizza.
Yeah, you know something fucked up happens, and you just find something funny in it. I don't know.
For the pizza.
You find something funny in
She's
it.
still waiting for the pizza.
You find something funny in something that's horrible. My mother and father going at it. He ordered from Teddy's. He ordered Meatball Heroes from Teddy's.
Teddy's just got. I'll tell you off the air. I just saw something about Teddy's restaurant.
Okay. They were open tonight. I don't know.
Yeah, he's got like 17 problems.
Oh, okay.
17?
Yes.
So anyway, he gets the meatball. He goes to Teddy's. He goes and gets them. Had a few beers when he went to Teddy's.
Of course he
Took
did.
about 2 hours to get two.
Of course he did.
meatball. So he sits down at the table with his meatball heroes, puts them on a plate, and my mother starts in with him. She goes, "We had to wait here." She goes, "And these meatball heroes that you swore you were bringing home are now. It's now like 9:30, and we're sitting here. The kids didn't eat. Nobody ate, and you're sitting here, and you had to go to Teddy's and drink a bunch of beers before you came
And
here."
what was his,
Scott?"
what was
and
his
he
answer?
goes, "Why don't you go to hell?" You know? And she goes, "Why don't you go to hell?"
Oh, here we go.
He takes the meatball hero. He slams it on the table.
Oh, God.
The fucking meatball bounces out, hits the table, bounces off, hits the floor, and starts rolling towards the door. My dog, Johnny on the spot, jumps off the couch, hears this, runs after the meatball, whoops it right up, hides in her little corner under the counter, and she's chomping on that meatball like it was fucking gift from God.
Find this capers.
And after that, my father, she's licking the path. She's licking the path of the meatball that rolled to the door. My father gets up. He gets out, goes in the car, and goes back to Teddy's.
Come on.
I'm not kidding. He went back to
He is a fucking legend.
Oh, he was.
did he
There isn't a
fumble?
person who talks about him now who doesn't tell me a story that I never heard, and it's fucking better than the one I heard before.
Which is great.
That's
That's
fucking
great.
great because he was crazy. He was
That's-
absolutely crazy. And you know, he went into the Korean War, and he saw a lot of shit and a lot of crazy stuff, and people that he was friends with get killed, and it made him a little wacky, to say
Yeah.
the least.
Do you sit back and
Him and a lot of other people.
All right, let me ask you something. On that note, do you ever sit there and, as a father and how you treat your children, base it by I'm
Yes.
gonna be better than what he was to you, right?
Well, I'll be honest with you.
Or the values.
The respect I had for him.
Yeah, I know
because
that. I
he was
know
hard
that.
work.
I could because you're talking about it now, and you always
He
have.
was. I mean,
idol.
I idolized him.
I know.
I did, and even the crazy shit he did like that, and the drinking and stuff like that, which I wish I didn't take on that at first, but I don't have it anymore going on. But he,
But you're still a good-looking man.
but I'm still looking.
Did you see the
For
look?
your age.
Did you see the look he just gave you?
And my
He goes
father
like
was
this, he
very
goes,
good looking. My father. I don't,
I don't have that
well,
problem
here's
anymore.
another one more Joe and Zorello.
Go, I'll
just
listen.
say-
Listen,
One more
you can
story.
talk all
Let's
night
be
about
honest.
Joe and Zorello. I don't care. I
So
love Joe and Zorello.
listen to this. On Christmas Eve, my cousin Dana
Who I love.
is going out with this guy Kurt.
She
And
didn't marry him. That's
and
not the guy she married, right?
She did marry him, and he's Jewish, and he looked like he got the wild hair and shit, the curls, and
Oh, like Orthodox.
my father wasn't thrilled with the whole,
The thing.
the Jewish thing. Not the Jewish thing, but the look, like the look.
That's from the Rothney family.
Okay,
They're all hanging out. I'm just showing you while you were
so
going.
my father is, and my mother and my father are now. This is like 1979, and they're not doing well.
Okay.
It's not going well.
Okay.
He drinks. He wanted to have one more last hurrah party in the basement. So Kurt comes over with Dana, and he's sitting downstairs and he's talking about, music and whatever. And my father's sitting there and he's like, all right. Well, he's trying to be friendly with him. Meanwhile, Eddie Powers is over my house, and my uncle, my step uncle, the redheaded stepchild that my
Yes.
grandmother had.
Yes.
Literally, that's what he was. He starts going because Eddie Powers is talking about the fact that he does martial arts and boxing, and my uncle's so drunk he's going, yeah, well, he's friends with Jerry Cooney.
Yeah.
He goes, he can't beat Cooney. He's like, I don't say I could beat Cooney. I'm just saying, who's Cooney? He goes, Jerry Cooney, because Cooney was from East Northport or Huntington, and my uncle lived in East Northport, Huntington. And he goes, you can't beat Cooney. So he goes, I don't give a shit about Cooney. You don't give a shit, Cooney, you kick your fucking ass, like that. And he goes, oh man, he goes, you talking about you're a fighter? You're not a fighter. I'm telling you, you're a fucking nothing because you can't beat Cooney. And my father goes, Bill. He goes, Bill, why don't you shut up and leave the kid alone? He's 17 years old. Shut your fucking mouth. Shut up. So he goes, you know what? I'm sick of your shit, he says to my father. He gets up and he goes to go at him. Yeah. I jumped out of my seat, took my uncle, threw him through the fucking basement door. Through the door, he landed in the closet. He's laying in the closet with the door on the floor.
Wow.
All right? And I start pounding him in the face.
No,
I go, you going at my father, you fuck? I start hitting him. So I dragged him up the stairs and I hit him again in my living room.
How old were you?
17.
Wow.
These are traumatic events.
Yeah, man. I know how he is now. This is
very traumatic
This is
events.
therapy.
Can you get mad at him when he snaps at me every once in a while?
Yeah. So I'm going.
Now he's just going to keep telling more stories so he can snap at you.
So after that, it's like my father. Now he's outside. I throw him on my lawn.
I love you.
I throw the fucking guy on my lawn now.
This is like George Costanza, the Andrea Doria, and he's trying to get the apartment, and he's telling the stories about his
So
life.
who gets blamed for this?
You.
By my mother?
Yeah,
No,
your father.
Oh.
My father gets blamed.
Of course she does.
He goes, Joan. He goes, he's freaking yelling at Eddie. I'm telling him to shut his mouth. He's acting like a jerk. He goes, and Bobby gets up and throws him to the door, which I'm very proud of him. That's what he said. He goes, I'm very, very proud of him. I wouldn't exchange that for anything right now.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. He goes, he's grabbing me. He's going, no,
fucking kid, I love you.
Love
yeah,
you.
give me a hug. Come on, let's go get a
all
pizza.
All night long, he's going, have a beer. Let's go have a beer. Right? So now we're sitting at the table.
Come on, my son, I love you.
Where's the scotch?
He goes like, the scotch came out. So now me, my brother, and Eddie Powers are sitting at the dining room table drinking scotch. My uncle is
at 17.
He's laying in the creek somewhere.
Your uncle's out cold in the creek. Your father's hair in a bag, right?
And the funny thing was, my uncle's wife was pregnant at the time, and that night he asked my father to be the godfather.
Come on.
I'm not kidding. He asked him to be the godfather. And I even said that to my uncle. I said, you just asked him to be the godfather and you fucking go at him like that? He goes, he's fucking cool. Fuck you with Cooney. So now
I want to sit back.
So now we're sitting at the table, and my father's sitting there, and he's beaming. But wrecked.
My son just kicked his uncle's ass.
Get the ice. He's telling my brother, Joe, get some ice cubes. You're like, Trey. You pull out the cube.
You remember that? You fucking
the big metal bar.
He used to go like this. He goes, don't just crack it. You got to run it underwater first.
Oh, my mother. Same shit.
Because they all break apart.
Yes.
Otherwise, they all crack. Yeah. He hated cracked ice. So now we're sitting at the table. The brother's throwing the ice in that little tumbler that he probably got from Haz. For a fill up at
the gas station.
He's sitting there drinking
around the holidays with the
little Christmas tree on it with the circle where the Christmas balls go. Yeah. Snoopy on the other side.
This is great.
So anyway, he's sitting there and he's drinking it, and you hear the ice in the glass, and he goes, let me ask you guys something. So now we're sitting there, we're calming down, we're not laughing anymore. He goes, you guys smoke pot? We're like, uh-oh. What's going on? We're just taking a turn for the worse.
Right.
He goes, you guys smoke pot? He goes, I know. He looks at me, grabs my arm, he goes, I know Bobby does. He goes, did I ever tell you I found his pipe upstairs and I found his bag of marijuana by his bed?
Yes.
He goes, but you two, he goes, you smoke? He's talking to my brother, and they go, I go, oh, just fucking admit it. I was like, oh. So they're like, all right. He goes, oh, good. Goes into the drawer behind this thing, and we had this dry sink.
Didn't he have your pipe?
No, that was another story.
We'll talk
my
about
friend
that
Chris D'Abato. You ever see Bob's pipe? Like, what the fuck? But anyway, he pulls out 3 joints.
3?
He pulls out 3 joints. He goes, I was in Central Park, and the guy was selling 3 for $2. Is that good? I was like, that's fucking great. We're paying $1 each right now. He goes, you buying it, huh? I go, no, we'll pay. He goes, let's light them up. We're smoking pot. at the dining room table
With your father.
with my father.
Wow.
Right?
After beating the shit out of your uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Now he's in the creek still, right?
he's outside. We don't know where
Now
he
it's
is.
you guys drinking bourbon, smoking pot.
smoking. And my mother wants to come out and see if everything has calmed down. She comes out down the hallway from the bedroom. She sees us in the dining room with scotch, beers, and my father going. And we were
This
like,
one's canoeing.
and she goes, oh my God, a little pregnant there.
This one's gonna. This one's canoeing.
Stop bogarting that.
He's bogarting.
He's bogarting.
So she goes, what? I do not believe what I'm seeing here. She goes, you're out of your mind. She goes, you. She goes, my father, you're out of your mind. He goes, go to hell. Go back inside. We were having fun here. Right? So we smoked he starts putting on loud music and shit. He's playing Sinatra at 12 decibels and shit. Fucking
2 o'clock in the morning.
start spreading the news. So we'll listen to the whole trilogy album. And,
Oh my God.
he's playing, and we're sitting there, and we're so wasted, so fucking wasted. And then all of a sudden he goes, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a little hungry.
No.
He started making eggs.
Oh my God.
Oh, God.
The wish.
I was like, oh my
With
God.
the horseradish?
It's a never-ending saga. It was just fun time. I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy. I grew up in a crazy atmosphere.
Yeah, but you miss those times.
That's pretty
I sure
wild.
do.
Yeah, I know you do.
I mean, that's pretty wild. So I don't have it. I got some stories from my father, but not crazy stuff like that.
My
he
father
was-
yeah, I didn't have too much craziness with him.
My father had some craziness. I mean, like
I caught my
but it
father
was-
and my mother doing it once. That's about the
I
craziest
I wasn't talking about that.
Oh, well.
Somehow you always end up going there.
I know.
All right, never mind. What do you mean?